I started riding when I was 3 in Joburg.
Yeah.
My grand's very involved in racing. She owned race horses with Gavin Smith for many years, many horses. She bred on Arkansas Farm. So yeah, I've always been part of the racing somewhat, but I went more into the equestrian side of things.
Welcome to another edition of Horses to Follow for KwaZulu-Natal, and it gives me great pleasure and I'm going to start with a lady first because it is ladies first, so you'll have to be quiet and wait your turn, Butty.
Okay, Butty.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce work rider Tayla Dillon to our podcast this week. Tayla, how are you, and welcome.
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me today, guys.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here to keep us... what's the word, Andrew? Keep us...
On our toes.
On our toes, that's
Always,
exactly
that's what women are supposed to do, right?
Do you hear that, Donovan?
Do you hear that, Donovan? Yeah. Now, Tayla Dillon is jockey Donovan Dillon's wife. She's a work rider, but she's going to tell us a bit more about that. But I must greet Andrew. How are you? Are you well?
There you are.
Good.
Fishing was good.
I was just going to say, you are so grumpy after a good day's fishing yesterday.
Well, I have to come to work now.
Okay.
I could have stayed another day.
I'll
show you the
You
fish.
sound like Donovan now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good day's fishing. Nice to have you. We've missed a podcast during the week. We all know why. Let's not elaborate on that, but it was a week where we had to all button up the hatches and try and stay safe.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, we had a lot of grub.
Yeah, a lot of grub.
But no booze, though.
Talking about no booze, yeah. Talking about a lot of grub. I mean, judging by what you ate for breakfast this morning, I thought I was a good eater.
Good doer.
Good doer. Let's talk about Tayla Dillon. Let's find out a couple of things about you. First of all, it's a question that men shouldn't ask females, but we're going to have to ask you because they are quite pertinent in your career. How old are you and what do you weigh?
Okay, well, I am 24 years old and my weight is a lot more than it used to be since I had a little one. But I'm 53 kgs. When I was in the academy, I was a good 48 kgs. But yeah, I'm happy at this weight. I'm comfortable. I feel healthy, and I'll stay at this weight.
Don't you remember? Do you ever remember when you and I were 53 kgs? We long for those days, don't we?
I think Donovan longs for that as well.
Hey, do you remember that? I wish I was 53 kgs.
53. Oh, well, I'm just 110. Lightweight.
Okay, tell us about your family. Tell us about your immediate family, Donovan and your little one, and your greater family. Tell us a bit about who they are and what influence they have on your life.
Well, obviously, Donovan's got a massive influence. I look up to him a lot. His work ethic and determination is just out of this world. My little one is a splitting image of me, but has Donovan's personality through and through. Stubborn, hard-headed, and full of nonsense. He gives us hard times, but he's amazing. The rest of my family, my mom and my gran, are definitely the ones that got me involved in horses from the age of 3. I think they spent more than enough time and money to put me through university and back. Got to say huge thanks to them. They really got me to where I am today with all my experience. They're all in Joburg, we in KZN. I miss them a lot, especially with COVID. Can't go through there. But yeah, and then my dad also, he's been to the UK and back a couple of times now, trying to get out of South Africa. But
But you started your career at the Jockey Academy, didn't you?
No, I started riding when I was 3 in Joburg.
Yeah.
My grand's very involved in racing. She owned race horses with Gavin Smith for many years, many horses. She bred on Arkansas Farm. I've always been part of the racing somewhat, but I went more into the equestrian side of things for many years. And then I had a terrible kidney operation in 2012, which set me back for quite a while. And I sold my horses and whatnot and caught on to nonsense. So my mom offered me to go to the academy, and that's where I met Donovan and started the racing side of things.
And then your back gave in?
No, my kidney.
Was it your kidney?
Yeah, in my second year. But I had already kind of made my mind up that being a jockey wasn't for me. I love the horses, I love the racing, but the pressure as a jockey, especially a female jockey, is intense.
Yeah.
Especially you can't really start a family and want to still keep your career on full
Right.
extent, you know.
It sort of would have come at, I won't, the jockey career, I won't say it would have come at the wrong time, but as you say, you wanted to, you guys were
Yeah.
wanting to start your family, and
Yeah.
so it was, then you went the work rider route,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. I wouldn't say it's the easier option,
No.
but it's an alternative option. Tell us about that.
So yeah, the work riders program, it actually came up at a great time because I wanted to start work riding to get fit and lose some weight, and the academy approached me and said that they're doing a work riders course, which was a great course. There were 3 different sections: the beginners, intermediate and advanced, and obviously you got to jump out the pens, do gallops and all the stuff to tick off the boxes. And yeah, once you're done, then you got to fight for rides and get a ride in the race.
Now, do you remember Tayla's first race, her first ride, which was at Hollywood Bet Scottsville, am I correct? Yes?
Yeah, I remember Donovan, I think he was more nervous than you.
Yeah, Shane was very nervous, Shane.
Tell us about your first ride. Just refresh my memory, the name of the horse and how it went for you.
I rode Star of Joburg for Nathan Cotson. He's such a nice horse. He's very strong though. I honestly thought I was going to get a runaway to the start. That was my biggest fear, was if I was going to get a runaway to the start, never mind the race. But he was an absolute star, and the race was phenomenal. It was such an amazing experience. However, my fitness was shocking. I thought I was fit. I take my hat off to these jockeys, let me tell you.
Yeah, people don't actually realize how fit you have to be
I
be a
promise
jockey.
you, I couldn't even do that one race. By the time I got to the 400, my body stopped working. I was like, I'm supposed to push now, and nothing's happening. I weighed out, and I weighed in, and passed the saddle to Donovan and sat on the bench for 20 minutes. I couldn't feel my legs. Promise you, I couldn't move.
Taylor, what do you think it is? What do you think the difference is? And it may be a silly question for us, but for those that are watching, they might know, what is the difference between, what do you think the difference is between work riding and race riding that makes that fitness? Because you guys go and ride work every day and you fit riding work fit.
Yeah.
What do you think is that difference?
I think it's the race riding. The fact that they ride in races, 9 to 10 races, pretty much the whole week.
And I suppose you're also riding a bit more aggressively in a
And
race
this
than
is
you
the
are
thing. And
riding
I think
work.
it's similar to horses as well. Horses aren't really race ready until they've had a race, you know. The more they race, the fitter they get.
Sure.
So you can do as many grass gallops as you like, and it's nothing like a race.
And Spooky Humby, does he put you on decent horses in the morning?
Yeah, he does.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's a good supporter, Shame. And he gives me the nice rides. If it was up to Donovan, he'd put me on all the terrible rides there.
Well, I notice he runs down to the track with
I
a
see.
phone to make sure that you stay on.
I see that Spooky Humby is he getting a little soft, because I see he's looking after Donald Geertsen, he's helping the work riders. I mean, normally he's quite a strong, tough, aggressive kind of a guy. Is he softened up a bit?
Oh, he's getting old now. I think he's a bit soft in the head.
Yeah, he's not bad for 73. Okay, so Taylor, you come from Joburg, obviously. So okay, but so are you and Donovan and your little one the only family here in KZN?
We've got Donovan's mom, stepdad, and sister here.
Okay,
So at least
so
we've got some kind of
Some
family,
family. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Where did you matriculate?
At the South African Jockey Academy. I did
Okay.
my grade 11 and matric there.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. You know, just going back to Donovan, you said that his work ethic and his determination and his professionalism and all the rest of it. I remember a long time before Donovan even had his first ride, he was singled out and picked out as an apprentice that,
Had potential.
had
Yeah.
potential. He had the work ethic, and it's just so wonderful to see him sitting there waiting for you in the other hot seat, and that his career is just going from strength to strength. So you're quite right. He has stuck with those morals and those goals
Yeah.
right
he
from
has.
a
Well,
young
it was
age.
pretty simple when he managed to lose all that weight to ride Golden Ducket in the July last year.
Yeah, shame. That was
it
a
was a pretty
task.
good effort. Huh?
Well, that's my next question that I want to ask you is,
Yeah, what did he eat?
what was it like living in the Dillon household? We're going to talk about what's it like. Well, let's start with that question. What is it like living and married to a jockey that I wouldn't say always has weight issues, but he's got to keep it track.
No,
on
he's
on
a heavy jock. He is a heavy jock.
What's it like? Does he get grumpy?
Oh yes. Oh my word, yes. He's like Spooky. He's always grumpy. But
Brooks, you hear that? But
But no, Donovan's great, and he tries. But I mean, let's be honest. If you had to limit what you eat and take off weight, you'd also be grumpy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's gotten easier through the years of being with him. The beginning was a task, but now I just say yes, babe, no, babe, 3 bags full, babe, and we get through it. But it's not easy. It's not an easy task, and he does spend most of his time sweating.
Now, it was last year when he had to get right down to that low weight for Golden Ducket, and that must have been an extra special, strenuous time.
That was.
What did you guys do? Was he sweating regularly? Obviously, what did he eat? What did you guys
So
eat?
it's actually crazy. He saw the ride was available, and he said to me, I'm going to try and get this ride and do it at 54. And I said, okay, it's quite a task already. And Eric Sands said to him, ride it at 53 and I'll give you a leg up myself. Well, that just set Donovan. He was like, nah, I'm going to do it. And I thought 53, this was 8 days before the race, 8 days to lose that much weight. And he basically lived on fruit. I think he had like a boiled egg in the morning and fruit salad in the afternoon and at night. And he'd bath every day, twice a day, cycle for 45 minutes with the sweatsuit on and work with the sweatsuit on every day. And the weight came off, but it had a massive toll on him. After the race, we went away for a couple of days and his joints just swelled up like you can't believe. He was just like a balloon. So it definitely took a toll, but he did it, and I was proud of him for doing it. But I said to him, not taking another 53 rounds. Sorry.
Well, we're quite lucky because we wouldn't fit in a sweatsuit.
No, we'd have to wrap a tent around us, you and me. We'd have to wrap a tent around us to get. But you know what's, and I'm so glad that Tayla mentioned it, and you also mentioned it, is because a lot of people don't know. That it goes back to when I was at the races some time ago. I've told the story before where I was talking to a lady and she said, gosh, look at these lovely horses, they just arrive at the races and they're ready to race and everything's wonderful. It's the same with the jockeys. Everybody thinks they just get out their car, go into the jockey room, get ready to go. They've got no idea what you go to behind the scenes, and here's a perfect example. It's a tough job. It's really a tough job. It's a dangerous job, and they've got to be cut a bit more slack.
Yeah, I mean, the weights have gone up in recent times. In the old days, you could ride 46 if you were small enough, but now bottom weight is 52, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're claiming apprentice, you can probably get down to about 48 or 49.
Yes.
But I think jockeys in general have got a bit bigger over the years.
They have, definitely.
Because I remember, what was it, Rainstorm winning the Gold Cup, the bloke rode 46. You won't see that now.
No, you won't see.
I think kids in general are getting bigger and bigger. I mean, my little one's a metre tall already, 16 kilos. Definitely not going to be a jockey.
Aren't you lucky?
Thank goodness.
But you grew up in what you say. I mean, in the old days, you'd have to be small, you'd have to be very short, you'd have to be light-boned. And you look at Bernard Fader, Callan Murray, Lyle Hudson, Donovan, they're tall jockeys, but they're able to do the weight, and it has changed. The conformation or the constitution has changed.
I remember Lester Piggott. I mean, he was also a tall jockey.
Yeah, he was.
And he was asked, what does he do with his backside when he's riding? He said he sticks it in the air.
Why did you want to, from a young age, what is it that intrigued you about horses? What is it that made you want to ride horses? Why not ride bicycles or drive fast cars?
So my family was always around horses, with my gran being involved, and we often went to Arkansas to the stud farm in Decembers. So I was always surrounded by horses, and I always said to my mom, by the time I'm 5, I want to be riding a horse. And my mom said, that's fine. And I did. I mean, I was led around an arena for months on end. And then from there, just progressed and competed mostly in equitation, showing, show jumping, got my colours, Gauteng colours, school colours. And then I went to a very competitive yard that focused on eventing, and that was going really, really well. I had my own warm blood, 2 thoroughbreds. I actually got quite a few horses from my gran off the track. And they're just amazing animals. How can you not want to be around them?
But eventing's a scary sport.
It is, but the adrenaline is amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit like point to point in England.
I've got to say, the eventing and racing's definitely been my favourite. Yeah. If I could do eventing again, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Rush, that going over blooming logs and fences.
Oh yeah, those are solid jumps. There's no bumping those over.
Yeah, no, not for me, thanks.
Taylor, I think I've asked you, but if I have, we can answer it again. Where do you live now? Your family's in Joburg. I can't remember if I've asked the question, but where do you guys live?
So we in Azagai, yeah.
Okay, so just close to something.
Right, yeah. It's close for both on an hour to get to work.
Are you able to, do you ride work every morning or most mornings?
So I'm actually at the moment at a pre-training facility up in Summerveld. Adam Kethro's farm. Lawrence O'Donoghue is the manager. Yes. I'm absolutely loving it. It's amazing seeing those babies come from strength to strength. Scary. Those babies can be crazy, but yeah, that's where I'm working at the moment.
Yeah, so your Tojo's there.
Yes, of course. Yeah, Lawrence and I also had the joy of working with Lawrence and Adam over the past. Okay, so you're up there. Are you able to watch every one of Donovan's rides?
Oh yeah.
So whether it's on the phone, online, or whatever.
No matter what, I watch it.
Do you pick him out when he makes mistakes?
No, I wait for him to get home and tell me, and then I'll say, yep.
How do you celebrate with Donovan? How do you celebrate a good day at the races? Like, yesterday you had 3 winners. Is it just sort of life as normal?
No, so he actually came home with a fish that Richard Ferrie had caught. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know fish, but I know there was tuna. And Donovan was like the chef of chefs and cooked this fish for us and a glass of wine.
Okay, lovely. That's good. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, 3 winners yesterday. He's certainly riding well. Is Donovan.
It was amazing.
Got a few coming up on Sunday as well, I see.
Absolutely. Last question for you, because we could sit here and talk for hours and hours. It's so interesting to hear your story. But what are your plans for the future? I mean, are you wanting that personally and career-wise? Are you wanting the family to grow a bit? Are you looking at riding in a lot more work rider races? Are you immigrating? What are your plans?
So, as for having more kids, I don't know. If it was up to Donovan, we'd probably have 6 by now. But yeah, I'm alright with just 1. We are planning on immigrating. We're still waiting. I mean, Australia shut their borders. It's difficult to get in with a family. Right now, I'm just trying to get as much experience on my CV as possible, which working at the pre-training facility is great because once we do get to Oz, I'll have a great CV to produce and pretty much take the pick. As for race riding, I wouldn't mind riding in another race, but I enjoy the pre-training a lot more. I really do.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's amazing how everybody finds their niche.
I think it's because of my equestrian background.
Yes.
So many years of that equestrian background that I enjoy that side more. I do miss the speed at track, the gallops and stuff like that, and the adrenaline. But in terms of being a mom and having to come home to my son, I think although the babies can also be mad, I can limit the danger to an extent, So yeah.
World class, absolutely world class. And whether you guys end up in Australia or sticking around here for a little while longer, we're going to follow your career and Donovan's career as much as we can. And just wish you all the very best. And thank you for your time and coming to see us. And
thanks, guys. It was lovely. Nice chatting to you.
Wasn't that bad? You see,
no, it wasn't that bad.
We're not that scary.
Although all the cameras and stuff is a bit intimidating. But my hands are sweaty. But
no, thank you very much. No, thanks, Taylor. All the best to you and Donovan and your whole family and the little one and everybody concerned with the Dillon family, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Well, there we go. That's Tayla Dillon, Donovan's wife. She's in the Work Riders program at the South African Jockey Academy. Interesting story.
Yes, I know, and it's also nice to know that there are other avenues in racing other than being a jockey. So if you're interested in horses and you want to ride work, and it's a good place to be.
Also, what's interesting is that she mentioned, she's enjoying the pre-training side of things now. She does miss the pace and the speed of the work riding, on a regular basis. But as we said earlier on, it's just amazing how everybody finds what they like the most. Yeah,
no, but she's lucky. She's fun. I mean, I know a lot of people have been going for 50 years and don't know where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is that saying? Find a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
That's right.
It's good. Right. That's
yes.
It. Find a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Let's talk about some news. There's quite a few pieces of news. Tab Gold, they've got a new video feature on their site. I think it's world class.
It is world class. I didn't think much of the actor though. I thought he was a bit dodgy.
Now let's talk about that. I mean, have you ever? I have never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, that actor. Where did they find him?
I don't know.
His name is Tawanda Taravinga.
Yeah, it was obviously Denzel Washington.
Yeah, it was obviously done before COVID because the bar was full of people. The bars were. I mean, the bars were not even open, so it was definitely a
pre-COVID,
pre-lockdown or whatever it was production. But I think he was all right.
No, he was good. Yeah, well done, Tawanda.
Tawanda, our producer. Yeah, he got his message across. He's very vibey.
Yeah. Who wrote the script?
Yeah, who wrote the script?
You wrote the script
I wrote the script, I directed it.
Is that why it's full of mistakes?
Is that why we've had no followers? So no, it was very good. It was very nice. And talking about that feature, so you can go onto the Tab Gold website, you go onto the race card, you click on this last run, there's a little video camera, and it shows you that race. I think it's brilliant.
No, it is brilliant.
It's quick, it's easy, and it's to the point.
Yeah. That means we're out of a job.
No, it doesn't mean that at all. Now, there was this is part of news, but it was not on the script. There was some feedback going around about presenters and commentators and just general racing people battling with name pronunciations. What is your opinion of it? Because you've got to understand, from my side of things, that everybody's speech and everybody's tongue is different, you know.
Yeah, I know, but it's tricky. I also take exception to people naming horses that you can hardly pronounce their names.
Yes, there's also that aspect to it as well. But you know, yesterday there was a horse running called Duquesne Whistle. Now apparently it's not Duquesne's, it's Duquesne Whistle. I called it completely wrong. I called it Duncan's Whistle, or and apparently it's a song by Bob Dylan. Now, if you're not a Bob Dylan fan and you are not a music fan, you know, maybe you wouldn't know that. I don't know.
Yeah, when you see those horses with funny spellings, it's always wise to sort of go to the trainer or whatever or the owner and ask them how to pronounce it.
It is wise, but you might not always. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about all of us.
No, that's just generally, I know.
But you might not get the time to, or it might slip up, or you might pass it by. There was that horse yesterday, Quasi for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that. If you didn't do a bit of homework, you know, you don't know it's Quasi for sure.
Yeah, but you know, also all those English towns and things like that. I mean, Low Donation's got a horse there, it's spelled Berkshire. But if you go to England, you ask for Berkshire, they don't know where you're talking about. It's Berkshire.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now you see, now I would know that, but I didn't know about Bob Dylan's song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I very much agree that you've got to get it right. You're trying to raise that professional level. I understand that, but for some people, you know, it's difficult. They have a different language. Maybe an Afrikaans-speaking person might find it difficult to pronounce.
No, sure.
You know, so we've got to go as far as saying cut a bit of slack.
Need a little bit of leeway,
yeah, you've got to. It's tough.
Unless it's glaring.
It's glaring, absolutely. But Berkshire, you know, Duquesne's Whistle. You know, I'm not a Bob Dylan fan, so
I was until he retired.
Yeah.
After the slow train coming.
Yeah, I think it's an area that we certainly can continually work on. I mean, this horse. You know, the Hollywood horses, there's a lot of difficult names, and I understand what they're doing, and I think it's brilliant what they're doing.
It's a good idea.
But, you know,
hard to pronounce it.
Yes, it's hard to pronounce. For Tawanda, it might roll off his tongue, but for us, it might not.
No.
So we've just got to bear that in mind, you know. I mean, if there's a horse, Comedy Ding, okay, that's Comedy Ding. But for a French-speaking presenter, he's going to battle with Comedy Ding, you know. So we've just got to bear that in mind. But let's move on to Rachel Venica. I was also hauled over the coals because I was saying Rachel Viennica, and her name is actually Rachel Venica. So it's been rectified. But at least I didn't call her Rachel Vinegar like some of them have been calling her. good riding,
Good
and
riding.
she's certainly doing well. And
Yeah, no, she's got off to a flying starter, which is great. She's had 4 winners already, and she's only been going a month.
correct. I think she's had 4 winners in 3 race meetings, or 4 winners in 5 race
Well,
meetings.
it's actually quite nice because when all the appies come to Ashburton, I say, you let the girls beat you, eh? Woo.
And you got to hats off to her, because it is not because it's males versus females or none of that nonsense, none of that. But it generally is a male-dominated industry, and she's determined, and you can see she's got her goals set, and she's not going to take no for an answer. She's going to succeed.
She's got a very strong personality, and she's been dedicated. I mean, she's wanted to be a jockey for a long time. It was just took her a bit of time to get to the academy because various rules and regulations.
Yes.
But she's taken her chances with both hands, and she's doing very, very well. And I mean, Michael Roberts is mentoring her, so you couldn't get a better mentor.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say to you. If Michael Roberts is taking you under his wing and teaching you and helping you, and
He wasn't a bad rider in his day.
Well, I was going to say he rode a few. He rode a few winners, didn't he?
Just a couple.
So she's certainly got looking what looks to be a fairly bright future. It is still early days for her, but what we see so far in her riding and in her attitude and in her personality, we like it, and we certainly wish Rachel Venica all the very best for the future, and hope that she makes, and we're certain she'll make a success of her career. You know, another apprentice that's also starting to come well, and I said it in an interview yesterday, is Caden Brewer, because
Caden's come good, eh?
His own admission, his career got off to a bit of a shaky start, and he's just blossomed, and he's learnt, and he's got more experience, and he's riding some nice polished races.
No, I was very impressed. I mean, he rode a horse in the first race the other day. I can't remember who it was for Carl Hurtson.
Yes.
I mean, that was an excellent ride.
It was an excellent ride.
Yeah.
It was the thinking ride.
Yeah.
Okay. We're unfortunately losing Callan Murray to other shores. Going to Australia. And, he's a likeable youngster, good rider. And he's...
Yeah, well, soon when we get to Australia, there'll be jockeys of Van der Merwe and Labuschagne.
Yeah, and Murray and all these people in Australia.
Half their soccer team, their cricket team is South African, yeah.
Okay, so we wish Callan all the very best for his time in Australia. New turf carriers during the week when we had this ghastly week, and we don't want to talk too much about the bad happenings that went on in the province and in the country, but new turf carriers put their...
No, they came to the party and helped out with supplies, which is very kind of them.
A lot of people donated supplies, and they put them on the truck and brought them down.
Well, it was brave of them to go through all that traffic.
Yeah, we had a very... our family was blessed with a parcel from somebody in Gauteng, and we thank them. They know who they are, and everybody else that had goods on those trucks, are all very, very grateful. And well done to New Turf Carriers for coming to the party. End of our champion season is next weekend. The Marshall World of Sports
Racing.
Gold Cup.
Oh, Racing Festival, I see.
Racing Festival. And at that meeting, I think Summer Pudding is going to have her last run, and then she's off to stud.
Yeah, she's running that 2,000 meter race. I can't remember what it was called.
Not the bracelet?
The bracelet, yeah, the bracelet.
Gold bracelet.
Yeah.
Yes.
2,000 meters, yeah.
So let's see how she goes before she goes off into the breeding paddocks. But whatever happens, she's got nothing to prove. She's a champion.
No, she's a champion, yeah.
Now let's talk about you.
Me, yeah.
Where did you go fishing?
I went fishing in the Camberg. It's a very secret place.
Okay.
Yes.
And judging by the pictures, you caught
very
some
big fish.
Big ones.
Caught some
lovely ones. Was that trout?
Trout, yeah.
Okay. And would you catch and release, or do you?
No, catch and release. No.
Is that just by choice? I mean, I know nothing about fishing.
No, well, most of those dams up there are catch and release. It's very seldom that you can take home. Some of those commercial dams you can keep one or two, and they charge you about 200 rand for a fish. So you'd rather just leave them in the water. Yeah.
Okay. But I was saying, so if you that gorgeous trout that you showed me the picture of, if you were able to and you wanted, you would have taken it home and eaten it and had it bride with it.
No, I don't like trout.
Okay.
Yeah, not so nice. But that was a 60 centimeter boy. It was a girl. It was a hen fish.
Okay. Stupid question again. I don't know about fishing. How do you know? How do you tell the difference? Don't say one has this one and another one has that one. But how do you know?
No, you can see by the head that the cockfish has got a hooked jaw and has a more pointed jaw. Yeah.
Okay, and the hen fish, you've got a just more rounded
face. Yeah.
Okay, so you learn every day.
You learn,
Okay. Why? And I need to ask you before we go through the selections. Why were you so hungry this morning?
Because I didn't get too much to eat yesterday.
Okay.
We were fishing.
So
when
when
you're
I
fishing,
also-
you don't eat.
Don't eat. Okay, so you just get caught in the excitement and the fishing
Yes,
and the
yeah,
enjoyment.
yeah.
And also on a more somber note, I haven't had a chance to publicly wish you condolences. Shame, we've missed a week of because of these dreadful riots, and then we had another week where you were sorting out family matters, and unfortunately you lost your mom.
Yes, yeah. No, it was. It's funny. I mean, she's been ill for a while, but when it finally happens,
Yes, of course. It's
just final. Yeah.
Yeah, it hits home a bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, from all of us at the podcast and from the racing fraternity, condolences to you and your family, and at least we know your mom is resting peacefully now. Cold. It's been icy cold. There's been snow. I think there's snow up Kimberley way. There's snow Cape Town way. There's snow
I
everywhere.
just heard on the radio coming up that they're around Dordrecht. It's thick snow and all the passes are closed there, so the birches must be freezing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at Summerfeld where we were recording, when I got you this morning, it was icy cold. You can see I've got 2 jackets, very cold. And in Durban, where we live right close to the beach, it was 6 degrees the other day. I mean, that's cold for Durban.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's talk about horses. Can we talk about horses before we
that'd
wrap?
be a good idea.
We're racing at Hollywood Bets Scottsville on Sunday, the 25th of July, 2021. And some exciting but competitive racing takes place. Let's kick off, Andrew, in the first race, which is a maiden juvenile plate, 10 runners at this point in time, over 1,750 metres. And I first looked, I thought Bristol Bow Fighter's the one to beat, because I think he's going to enjoy the extra trip. But then I saw Paul Matchett's in town, and Angel of War has solid Highveld form. So for me, it looks to be a boat race between those two. How did you tip it?
Yeah, I tipped Angel of War because Paul didn't come down here to sample the air. So sending one horse down, it's obvious. So that's between a Bristol Bow Fighter and probably Illicit Kiss. Those 3 in the trifecta.
All right, and then maybe you'd want to include number 8, Rare Vintage as well, who did improve last time, but at long odds. So keep an eye on Rare Vintage. The second race is a maiden plate over 1,100 metres at 20-1. 17 runners carded at this point in time. Who's your first choice? And then I'll tell you what I know.
I think it's quite a hard race. You know something? Oh, good. I like Geronimo. I think Wendy Whitehead's horses have come well of late, and Donovan's riding well. It was two decent efforts there. So that's me, Geronimo.
I do like Geronimo. Geronimo was a horse that I selected to follow last time, and he did well for me. So I'm certainly going to follow him. I think he's going to improve again and is going to go close to winning. But we did some interviews this morning for the Gold Circle television show, and we spoke to Michael Roberts, and he's got 7th Song. He says the day 7th Song jumps on terms, they won't beat it. And he believes that Sunday is the day. If he jumps, he'll win.
Yeah, well, they had Sanjador. They also had Sanjador the other day, yesterday. I mean, that also had about 47 starts before it hit the boards. 7th Song is in the same sort of boat there. He's got 4 runners in the race.
Yes.
Yeah, but that looks like the right one of the 4.
Certainly is. Okay, race 3 is a maiden plate for fillies over 1,400 metres, 1:15. A little bit naughty. What did you make of that last run? Because the debut performance of this filly was good.
Yeah.
Her second start was not good. She took no interest in the running. Are you going to forgive her for that and give her a chance?
I want to give her a chance. I'll give her another chance. I mean, that first one was excellent. So
is she your first choice, though?
No, she's not. I got Trump My Queen, I think. I thought that was a very good run first time out. And I think she might be the one to beat, but it's not an easy race.
No, even a horse like number 14, 3 Hearts, can improve off that fair debut to get into the action. So horses like A Little Bit Naughty, Trump My Queen, 3 Hearts, and even number 5 Blanchetta are worth a mention. Lovely to see, before we move on to the 4th race, Mark Dixon's stable starting to turn.
So, yeah, it's big. Might put a smile on his chops for a change.
Let's go. The 4th race is a maiden plate over 1,950 metres. The Gold Circle horses to follow a maiden plate. We're very lucky to have a race named after us.
Correct it.
I quite like Jimariah Gold. Sean Terry's horse, Lyle Hurtson, brings solid Highveld form into the race. The three owners, Chris van Niekerk, Suzette Viljoen and Drakenstein Stud, are going their hardest to win the National Owners Championship. And it's exciting. The last 10 days or so is exciting.
Sean's giving it a good go for Chris van Niekerk. So he had a winner yesterday.
Yes.
Blackthorn. This one could go close too.
I was just going to ask you, why weren't you at races yesterday, but I forgot you went fishing.
Oh, I was fishing.
Okay, so Jumeirah Gold, your first choice.
No, I tipped Deputy Marshal. I think Duncan's horse will come good.
Okay, Muzi Yeni from Gate 1, so he'll have a lovely smooth run in transit. So Deputy Marshal for Andrew. I do respect Deputy Marshal, but I do like number 5, Jumeirah Gold. I think that Sean Terry's charge might be a little strong for the 4th race. Let's move on to the 5th race, Andrew. It's a merit-rated 80 handicap over 1,000 metres, so they're going to go quickly. I was told the other day, just shows you, when people get, what's the word I'm looking for? When they nitpick, that's the right word.
Nitpicking.
Everybody has their sayings, everybody has their, it's also hard to think of a different saying for every single race. And sometimes over 1,000 metres, I like to say, before I hand up to the commentator, don't blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 metres, it's going to be quick, Somebody sent a note and saying, don't blink, you'll miss it because it's a merit-rated 61 handicap. They're not that fast, so if you blink, you're not going to miss it. I mean, pathetic. It really is pathetic, to be honest with you.
Between top division and bottom division is about 2 seconds. So,
it's surely you know what I'm saying. Don't blink, you'll miss it. It's a 1,000-metre sprint. I'm just trying to say it's normally...
Well, it's quite simple. Don't say it anymore.
No, I'm going to say it because...
just to annoy them.
Not to annoy them because, it's a sprint. Don't blink, you'll miss it. What must I say? That's my saying.
Okay.
Anyway, so... I just think that nitpicking is not needed in this world. The 5th race, as I said, is 1,000 metres. Don't blink, you'll miss it. 11 runners, an 80 handicap, and I think Gareth Van Zyl holds a very strong hand here.
With Prince Koresh.
No, with the other one.
Other one.
Fly the Coup.
Oh, right, yeah.
Lyle Hewitson rode Prince Koresh in his last 2 starts. He's now chosen to go with Fly the Coup. Surely that must ring a bell that maybe Fly the Coup could be the better one.
I tip Fly the Coup,
You see, you're a very good tipster.
Very good tipster.
Okay, so I'm going for Gareth Van Zyl.
But this is a hard race,
Second.
This is a hard race. There's a lot of fast horses here. Kings Road, Valiente.
No fast horses, don't be silly. You mustn't blink.
You miss it, Valiente, you got Damasio. Blaze of Silk.
Damasio has got a chance, but better at Collingwood Gravel, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. But and Blaze of Silk, this is his course.
Of course, absolutely. For informed Corinne Bestel, she just has a handful of horses, but they certainly do well. Yesterday, I said that Louis Crewson would have an exacta with
Beckoning Beauty.
Beckoning Beauty and Lavu Lavu. Well, Beckoning Beauty won. Lavu Lavu got beaten into 4th by. I don't know if you watched the race. The width of a piece of paper. There were 3 horses, nose, and one more like this, and Lavu Lavu would have run second. So I'm predicting Gareth Van Zyl to finish first and second here with Fly the Coup and Prince Crash. Race 6, let's move on to race 6, which is over 1,200 metres, so they're still up the straight. It's a 102 handicap, 11 runners at this point in time. 7th gear is very capable. Burning Wings clearly has ability. He's won 2 out of his last 3. Gainsford has been a bit disappointing and costly to follow. Light That Loose is never too far off the action. Hawker Typhoon, you ignore his last start.
Her
Last start, my apologies. She's taking on the boys. You ignore her last start. So, 102 handicap, that's hard, and so it should be.
Yeah, no, I've gone for Gainsford. He's been a little bit slow out of the gate. And he sort of comes on late, but I think Sean Veal should know by now that what he's got to do. If he bounces on terms, he'll win. Okay. He ran just off them in the post merchants behind Casimir, and this is not quite that class.
I haven't really got a selection, but if I was forced to, and I'm going to give you my narrow first choice, I'm going to go with 7 Burning Wings, but it's a very tough race. Let's move on to the 7th race, which is a merit-rated 78 handicap. Again, 1750 metres. Clouds of Witness bounced right back to near best last time. Alado's Pride, I'm expecting a bit more. Willow's Wish is the unknown in the race, could be absolutely anything, and Tromso could be rewarded for his consistency.
Yeah.
I suppose you haven't tipped any of those.
No, I tipped Captain Who.
Who?
Who?
Tell us about Captain
Who. I think he'll go this trip. I think he'll enjoy this trip. And he was behind Shareholder last time. Shareholder's a bit, and he was in a novice plate before that. And I think the class there might tell. So I've gone Captain Who from Willow's Wish, because we don't know what that. Sean Terry doesn't bring them down for fun, and he's got Lyle on. And Clouds of Witness. I think it was a good run last time. Gary was kept on telling me, I don't think he sees out the 2-4, I don't think he sees out the 2-4, so he nearly wins. So this might be his ideal trip.
Captain Pride is in the 8th race, so let's talk about the 8th race, which is the 78 handicap, 12 runners carded at this time of recording, 1750. Talking about Captain Pride, half a length beaten last time, he's got ability. Does he set the standard?
I think so. I think he's the one to beat.
Okay. Who's your second choice? Because I like Tashman for second.
Tashman and Gavel Strike. Those are the other two. The rest can start now, I think.
Okay, let's move on to the 9th race then. The final event on the card. It's a merit rated 86 handicap for fillies and mares. Fillies and Mars. Fillies and mares. 13 runners at this point in time. They go the mile. 2 Gardenia looks to be a fair filly. Princess Anastasia is consistent. Eager Duchess is consistent. Flower of Saigon is never too far off the action, but for me, they might have to run some to beat Silver Maria.
I think it's between Silver Maria and Princess Anastasia. I see Dennis has put blinkers on Princess Anastasia. I think that might do the trick.
Silver Maria ran second to Aquasulis, who's come out and won again, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
I'm very, I can remember things very well. John, what's your name again?
Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
And that's a wrap for the races, the 9 races for Sunday the 25th of July. Get your bets on. And then there's no racing in the province. Yes, there is. There's Sunday, Monday, and then we take a couple of days break. And then it's the 31st of July, the big one. The Champions Cup meeting, the Marshall's World of Sports betting.
Field is cut up to almost nothing.
Can you just let me get the name right, please? Marshall's World of Sports Gold Cup.
Right.
Am I right?
You're right.
Thank you. Now what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that the Champions Cup's been a bit disappointing. All those horses are ducking.
I see there was Do It Again.
There was Rainbow Bridge, Jet
Yeah, but
Dark,
that's gone. Rainbow Bridge is gone. So it's going to be a small field.
I thought Comity Ding and Linebacker might take their chances there, but not to be.
They're gone back home.
Yeah, not to be.
Okay, not to be. Well, that's a wrap from us. Andrew Harrison, Warren Lenferner and Tayla Dillon. It's been great having all our guests, and we thank them for their time. Anything else to add? Stay warm.
No, it was a bit fresh yesterday.
Yeah, stay warm, stay safe, and as always, we'll see you from the number 1 box.